Alright, in this video, I'm going to show you, I'm just borrowing or taking someone else's video, and I apologize, but this is very important, and um, in this video are two disturbing things that I would like to talk about, and you're going to see this video. Now, in this video, you see um, this woman who is defacing the Black Lives Matter, and she's wearing a t-shirt saying Jesus Matter. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. I grew up in the church too. Uh, but I want you to see what they're doing in this video. And this is Wolfgang. Please leave a like, a comment, and please subscribe. I've decided this video, to me, it's very disturbing, and I don't like it, and it's not how the way that she went about it is wrong. Listen.
Located in the comment section below.
Matter. They say Black Lives Matter, right? They say Black Lives Matter. Oh, they don't care about Black lives. They don't care about Black lives. They don't care. 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 Defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. They don't care about Black lives. They lie. They liars. They're liars. They say they care about Black lives. They're saying to defund the police. All for the sake of Black people. The Blasio doesn't care about Black people. The Blasio doesn't care. Defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. Fuck you. Defund the police. Devil. Refund the police. 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 Jesus matters. Jesus matters. We don't never support Black Lives Matter. We will never support. We will never support. We will never support. We will never support.
Now, obviously you saw what was going on in this video. Sorry about that. In this video, you can see that she's defacing the Black Lives Matter sign in front of Trump Tower. And it's just sad that you know what's going on in America. And I'm sorry about the video. It's, I don't know how many times the mural has been defaced, but it's just not right. It's not like she has to understand, like people have been protesting with the police brutality, and with this, people going up to the mural, defacing it, and it's just sad. But on another topic that's really disturbing is that I'm going to show, I want you guys to listen as I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to fast forward this video.
For the other part
where I said there were two parts, where it was roughly somewhat like a 50-50. Everything, like I said before, I'm not agreeing with 100% of everything that she is saying, but certain things she is correct on. When she says that, in a sense, black lives don't matter, that is 100% correct, but the way that she went about it is correct, is 100% incorrect. But the thing that I'm looking at, and from the other information I was able to gather and give to you guys, both in either verbal or in video format, is the fact that if you look and pay attention to the very last article, the fourth article, in the language that was used. So anytime that the LGBT community talks about straight black men, they always label them as something else, which is cis or perceived to be a heterosexual male. So now it's about perception, and you are technically not, because they're not automatically labeled as such. Those are the games that are basically being played there. And then the last two videos that I showed you, one was during the whole thing with George Floyd, right? And you heard them saying Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, but then you had the LGBT flags being raised. That has nothing to do with the murder of George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery or Sean Reed. That has nothing to do with those people, those black individuals who were killed. That's obviously somebody else trying to insert themselves into something that is already going. And then last but not least, you had both of the black individuals who are there are both trans, right? And one of them stated that originally, as I told you before, I think in the first or the second article, that the Black Lives Matter was originally meant for the LGBTQ community, so that they can bring awareness to trans individuals and how they're being treated and killed and how they're being perceived out by everybody else. But they knew, like I said before, this is when it starts to get to a slippery slope, and this is when you start to see how deceptive people are. So because the LGBT community knew that that wouldn't fly, that they wouldn't be able to get that support, and that people would not acknowledge what it is that they are doing, they decided as a whole to let black people basically take it over, in a sense, disguise it, right? And they let, in a sense, the bodies build. So you had the Trayvon Martin, the Eric Garners, the Breonna Taylors, you had the George Floyds, the Sean Reeds, the Ahmaud Arbery's, and so on and so on and so on. You had all of these black bodies basically building up. And once it got to a certain point, people just started taking notice. And they were like, yo, this is messed up. We really got to start doing something. We really got to start speaking out about it. So now when you look at Black Lives Matter now, it's global. You see it in Syria. You see it in Italy. You see it in Egypt. You see it in some places in Europe. You see it in the UK, Australia, South America, Canada. Like, you're literally seeing this all over the world, and people are literally saying Black Lives Matter in unison, as if it's finally registering that we are getting messed up here. And now what we were able to see and been crying about and telling people about for so long, now the whole world can basically see it. So now the original people that it was meant for, now they're like, okay, so this is the time that we need to strike. So we need to let it be known what our message is and everything like that. So this is when you start having Billy Porter, right? And this is when you started having other celebrities who are part of the LGBT starting to slide trans people directly into this movement whenever they want to make a talking point about Breonna Taylor, or whenever they want to make a talking point about George Floyd, they decide to slide in trans people into that conversation. So like I said, 100%, this movement was never meant for us. It was a deception that was used in order to be used. We were basically everybody, because I'm going by what the article stated. They said that I'm a cisgendered male, or a perceived to be heterosexual male, right? So basically what happened is that they used heterosexual people to build up their movement so that they can basically take it over for their own narrative, because that's what it is now. It moved from the whole thing of, before it was Black Lives Matter. Then you had the other one that came out where it was like Blue Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. And now it's become, instead of Black Lives Matter, All Black Lives Matter. Meaning that it's trying to encompass the whole LGBT, the black LGBT, plus heterosexual people. Even though the whole thing was built off of the deaths of heterosexual individuals. So like I said before, Black Lives Matter is not actually our movement, and 2 trans individuals who showed up on the news told us that. They literally said that, and also in the article, it's being repeated over and over. The black kid from Jurassic Park who just came out as queer, he stated that if your revolution does not include transgender or LGBT, then you are anti-black. Then he listed something else after that, and he was like, well, if it's about that and it's not about us, then you're also anti-black. This is how it's working. So if we're not automatically speaking up for them, we're automatically against them. So, like I said, this is why we have to 100%, as going by the logic from the people that decided to write those articles or state their opinions, for the heterosexual people out there, this is why you have to start having 100% your own movement and know what the movement is at its core, have everything written out so it cannot be misconstrued, so that nobody else can decide that, oh, this is our stuff too, so we're just going to slide in here too because we matter. No, because I'm going to put it like this. I don't care, like, whatever people want to be, whoever you want to set up their love, I have no issue with that. It's all good. Do what you want to do. You're a human being. Fine. But the issue that I have is, if the Caucasian individuals are as loving as you say that they are, and they're part of your community, if they're as loving as you say that they are, and they care about your well-being and who you are as a person, why is it not them who are trying to champion you and trying to make sure that your lives are being seen? Because overwhelmingly, we already know. You can go look at San Francisco, and for some people who might not know, I did a video about Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is technically the gay capital. It's the gay mecca of the world, but it's not really talked about, right? But if you look up Tel Aviv, or if I happen to insert the video at the end of this whole thing, you might realize what Tel Aviv is. You know, and like I said, that's the gay mecca. So if your lives matter as much as you believe or say that they do, then all of these Caucasian individuals who are in a sense the base of the LGBT, they would be championing for you and they would be speaking out for you. But you know that they are not, and that they are not going to. So this is why you have to find other ways in order to bring awareness to what it is that is going on and happening to you, because even people within your own community aren't going to side with you, and that's a problem by itself. Like I said, don't sit up here and try to just blame everything on quote unquote, as you say, heterosexual black people. Look within your own community and talk to those white individuals who you be walking hand in hand with, who you go to all of these gay pride events with, and you share all of this supposed camaraderie and all of these feelings and this history, but yet they are not trying to champion you. Like I said, don't come for black people if you're not going to come for the white people who you walk amongst every single day and who are supposed to be your family and your friends. But anyways, that's enough of me talking. Let me know what.
Okay. So you obviously saw the video. So what he is pretty much saying in the video is that the LGBT organization is like, if I'm right or wrong, he's pretty much saying that, you know, the LGBT you guys pretty much have no respect for the people that lost their lives to police brutality. And like, you guys are sliding in, like he said, and I mean, I left a big, huge comment, and somebody responded back to it, to the comment I left, and they actually agreed with me. And it's like, you guys have your own organization. Police brutality has been going on for centuries, and you guys like have to understand, like, what you're doing is making the situation really hard for another African American to be heard. Stay in your own lane. We don't need you to come in and like how should I say, be disrespectful and like, oh, I understand it does happen in your guys' community, and I apologize. I don't have a problem with gays, lesbian, trans. I don't. I know a lot of gays. I know a lot of trans. I know a lot of lesbians. I know a lot of bisexual people, and I don't have a problem with that. But my major problem is like this. This is Black Lives Matter. This is a powerful movement. Stay in your own lane. Like he said, you have your own organization. What you guys are doing is highly disrespectful. You guys are doing it just to like, oh, forget about the real victims who are got killed by the police, and you guys are like, well, let's not forget about the alphabet people. And does it happen? Yes. Do you hear about it? No. I'm not saying your movement is not strong. I'm not saying like I don't care about your movement, but I am saying that this Black Lives Matter movement is more powerful and than you can ever imagine. We've been fighting police brutality for a very, very long time. He mentions all those victims' names that's been killed by police brutality. You guys weren't like the trans people. You guys weren't around with the Rodney King. You guys weren't around with Marcus Garvey. You guys weren't around with the things that the African American community been through in the 80s and the 90s. It was very hard, especially in the 80s. It was very hard for African American people to be recognized. We fought to get to where we need to get to in life for the future for our kids. We don't need you to come in and like be disrespectful towards the victims. You just guys is pretty much saying that, oh, well, what about us? We're victims too. I agree. But go pull that stunt over in the Middle East and then come back to the U.S. and then say something else. You would never, ever in your right state of mind pull that over in the Middle East, because they're not going to tolerate that. When these powerful organizations and black powerful leaders like the NAACP and the Black Lives Movement, these people seen what happened. We just lost, and I saw it on the news, that we just lost one of our NAACP African American leader. Sad. God bless his soul for fighting for us. But your cause is not the same as Black Lives Matter. We're doing this cause because of the fact that people lost their lives of police brutality. Trayvon Martin, George Floyd. He mentions a lot. There's a lot of people there's a lot of African American people that have lost their lives due to police brutality. I had a great conversation yesterday and with an Asian guy, and over in his country there's police brutality as well, and you're not allowed to speak against your government, or else this is what's going to happen. It does happen over there. Go over to the Middle East. The Middle East. And protests. You guys are not going to get away with what you guys are doing over here. Over there, and it's a proven fact, and I seen it on the news, and someone posted a video of it, and it's because they are on holy grounds. The Middle Eastern people, they do not play. They show an execution where people in the square watch two guys push a gay person right off the roof, and it was very high. It was off a roof of a building. That's what they do. Go over there and protest. Make a big stunt, and then come back to the U.S. They do not play over there. These are really bad times, and we don't need you guys to come over and slide into the Black Lives Movement. Stay in your own lane. This is more powerful than you guys can ever imagine. Do you guys' lives matter? Yes. like he said in the video, you have your own organization. They will speak up for you. We are in a difficult times. This is something like goes far beyond. And like when I saw that video, I was like really disturbed. I was upset with the women, but mostly I was even more upset due to the fact that of the alphabet people moved in on and say like excuse me, they were yelling in the video Black Lives Matter, and here you said like, you know, they're chanting Black Lives Matter, but here you are raising your flag. Okay, you're not seeing the picture. You're not seeing the point. When people chant Black Lives Matter, they're saying like, this is what needs to be done. We need justice for the victims of police brutality. Does it happen in the white community? Yes, I've seen it on YouTube. Does it happen in the Latin community? Yes, I've seen it on YouTube. There's a lot of things that what goes on in all different race with police brutality. I just think that you guys came and trying to profit off of the Black Lives Movement, and I think you guys took an opportunity to see like, oh, wait a minute, Black Lives Matter, what about us? We matter too. Yes, you guys do matter. Stay in your own lane. You have your own organization to fight for you guys. You don't see I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a good example. You don't see like I don't know. I can't think of a good example right now, but like I'm just so upset that the alphabet people are profiting off of the victims of police brutality, and I'm just upset to the fact that you guys dismiss, and I do use the word dismiss, the victims of police brutality, and that's fucked up. You guys have your own organization. You guys have Gay Pride down in Boston. We got Black History Month. For the black trans, saying that they've been doing this for a long time. No, you haven't. That is a crock of shit. You weren't around, nor was I. But I do have history and I've been through it in my life of racism. You just came into this world. You guys just came into this world. You don't understand like what racism is about. You may think you may know, but you really don't. I've talked to a lot of elders that's been around in the 1950s to the 60s to the 70s to the 80s. My mom went through that. God bless her soul. For that trans to say that they've been fighting for a long time. No, you haven't. You guys weren't even thought of in the 80s and the 90s. You're just here. You're just here in this world because of the fact that things have changed. And I'm going to say this, and I want people to take this with a grain of salt. Excuse me. We are in a war. We are in a war, and this war is very dangerous. We need to put our differences aside and work together. We need to work together and be united as one. I mentioned something about what Abraham Lincoln said, and I'm going to pause this video. In fact, I'm not going to pause it. I'm going to go find what Abraham Lincoln said, and I actually got it from a video game, and it speaks the truth of what's going on in the U.S. Now, Abraham Lincoln said it the best. This is actually what I got from a video game, The Division 2. And it's what's going on right in front of your own eyes, including outside your house and in your backyard. Wherever you go in the United States